What's up, positive bitches? How are we doing today? If you're hearing this episode, then you are meant to be here, so keep listening. On that Bitches Positive podcast, sometimes we will laugh. Other times, baby, we're gonna cry, but we will always walk away feeling our most empowered, positive bitch self. That is Babe in true connection with herself or himself. On this podcast, we unbecome who we are not, so we can fully step into exactly who we came here to be. Today, I'm answering your questions that you sent me on Instagram. If you're not yet following me on Instagram at Vibin with CC, that's VIBIN with CIICII. Be sure to follow me there for daily channeled messages and magnetizing tips and tricks. A lot of what we're going to talk about today is going to also be answered in my book, Show Up As Her. So if you've not yet gotten your copy, be sure to grab that. And if you're looking to magnetize your mornings and brew some positivity, then you can get your own magnetizing mug. I just released a love collection just in time for Valentine's Day. I truly know that this has helped me attract the relationship I'm currently in, and it's going to do the same for you. It's super easy. All you do is pour in your tea or your coffee, state the source codes at the bottom with your palm over the mug, and then drink it up, and it does the manifesting for you. Before I even start answering the questions, get some tea, get some coffee, get a little drinkity drink, because this is going to be one of those episodes where it feels like we're on FaceTime and we are going to chit chat about the real stuff we need to talk about. I have not even looked at the questions yet. I'm just going to allow the Holy Spirit to speak through this vessel of mine, and we're going to go off the cuff. I think that makes it more real, and I also just prefer to do it that way. If your question didn't get picked, not all is lost. I really do believe that whatever question I feel the most energy from and you end up picking, that is what the most people need to hear, and maybe you even need to hear on a subconscious level. The first question: should I always be wary of a man who wants to do 50-50? Please understand that 50-50 is a lie. It's never going to be 50-50. It's never going to be an equal split. They want you to split the bill 50-50. That's actually 90-10, and you are the 90%. Because think about it like this. Think about how much it costs to do your hair, your highlights, your Dyson, your eyebrows, the eyelashes, the skincare, the facials, everything that you're doing, the nails. Oh my God, the exfoliation, the outfit. Fundamentally, we're already spending so much more. Inherently, we're spending so much more. Feminine products, undergarments, we're automatically spending so much more just to show up to the date. If you're now splitting it 50-50, it's 90-10. It's never going to be 50-50. Get real. Get real with yourself. If someone ever said that to me, I would be like, first of all, I would become immediately physically ill, violently ill. I would be so turned off. And I would say, are you okay? Are you stable? Do you need me to bring you to the hospital? Do you need me to bring you to an energy doctor? What? Are you okay? Are you okay? I would be dumbfounded, shocked, and ill, and I would think there was literally something wrong with them, because there is. There's a dysfunction in their masculine energy. If a masculine energy says this to you, it doesn't mean they're demonic. It doesn't mean they're evil. It doesn't mean that they're bad. They have faulty programming. Now it's up to you what you want to accept into your life. Whatever you accept, you amplify. I would not accept that behavior because it icks me out. I'm not saying I'm not going to ever gift them something. I absolutely will. I'm not saying I'm never going to pay for anything. I will do little things, okay? But I am not going to be the main person providing in that way, not on dates. That's weird to me. I grew up seeing my father take care of everything, pay for everything for my mother, because that is the correct flow of energy with masculine and feminine energies. That's just is how it is. And when it's not like that, it gets weird, and then there's resentment, and energy gets really dysfunctional. I didn't make up the rules. I'm reading the writing on the wall. It just is what it is. If you don't care and you want to be, I don't know, some woman who's paying for things on dates, go off. But It's not going to feel good. It's not going to feel good. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's not going to feel good. I drove myself to a date and I almost had like a mental breakdown. I was like, this is not what I'm meant to do. I can understand driving yourself to the first date if you don't want them to know where you live, or Ubering to the first date alone because you don't want them to know where you reside. I understand that, but this was not our first date. And I just knew in my bones, it's wrong. I know paying for a date with a man is wrong. It's wrong. And you don't have to take my advice. Listen to your own intuition. To me, I squirm. My fingers go like this and my toes curl. And I get violently ill at the thought of me No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Especially if they're courting you. They're courting you. Make America court again. What the hell? What is going on? That would make me ill. So should you be wary? I would say I would not even date that person. And there's nothing wrong with being upfront about exactly who you are and being like, that's not cool with me. Weed them out. Weed them out. Let your values and your standard be your filter. Let your values and your standard weed them out for you so you have less of a headache to deal with later. Why would you allow that into your life so you can literally start to erode from the inside out? Have fun. Have fun. Look, if they can't afford a nice restaurant, don't go to a nice restaurant. I don't know. Have a picnic. There's other things to do. Let him use his brain. Why does he have a brain in his skull if he's not going to use it? I know who I am. I know what I need. I know what I want. I'm not going to lie to myself nor my partner about what I need and desire in a relationship. This is what I am. This is what I want. You either align with me and you love it, or I'm not your cup of tea. But guess what? I don't want to be everyone's cup of tea because I'm not average. So why would I want to be liked by average people? I don't. I want someone who's higher in vibration, higher in intellect, higher in emotional depth. And that is what I like. There's nothing wrong with just being straight up and saying, I don't do 50-50. I don't do that because it's never 50-50. It's actually 90-10. And also, by the way, you're the one who would be possibly pushing out a child out of their physical vessel. It's not ever going to be 50-50. The divine feminine and divine masculine are both great. And they both have their own strengths. And they both have their own weaknesses. Never, ever, ever is it going to be 50-50. It's actually going to be 100-100 in different ways. And Tony Robbins always says, if you want your relationship to feel like it did in the beginning, act like you acted in the beginning. Don't measure what are they doing versus what I'm doing. No, be in your divine feminine energy or your divine masculine energy. Show up as your best self and give in the ways that feel good to you. Paying for a date, going quote unquote 50-50 doesn't feel good to me. Getting something really cute for him or something that is thoughtful, like a little, I don't know, knick-knack, something along those lines that I know he's going to love, that feels good to me. So that's what I'm going to do, making sure that he is nurtured in the way that I can nurture. That feels good to me. Next question, how to shift more into feminine energy? Ideas, please. I think everyone has the wrong idea about the divine feminine energy. Maybe you're listening to this and you're thinking, whoa, Cece, you're that upfront. You're that brazen. That is what the divine feminine is. She knows what she wants. She's authentic and she states it. She's the creator and the destroyer. I see the divine feminine as the leader in emotional intimacy, in divine union, in stating what she will allow and what she will not allow. So that's simply what I do. That is how I am. And therefore, that's how I'm going to exist. The divine feminine is really like the director of the movie. She directs her life, her relationship. She directs how she wants things to go, all while knowing the things that are out of her control are going according to a divine plan. How do you get more into your divine feminine energy? Try screaming the F word once in a while. I swear to God, it will just put you right back into that feminine flow because the divine feminine recognizes her emotions. She expresses them as well as her truth and what she desires to have and hold. The divine feminine is really this force of nature. She is not this weak little mouse in the corner. No, she is the exact opposite. She is fierce. She is fierce. We have to start realizing that we've really been lied to about what the divine feminine energy is. She is the creator, the expressive energy. She is the flow. She's what makes a house a home. That's why it's even more important to have that masculine energy to create the safe space so you can flow through it. There are people who I would be in relationships with that my feminine energy did not feel safe enough to come out in. I would put up my masculine shield and say, no, you're not going to get to taste what my true authentic energy is because I don't feel safe with you. In my current relationship, I can say literally anything that happens in my brain because he creates such a safe space for me to exist within. And so it's so important that while you're trying to step into your divine feminine energy, you also recognize that the people you interact with, some people are going to cut you off from your own divine feminine because they don't make you feel safe. And those are the people you remove from your reality, not your circus, not your monkey, not your sink, not your dishes. You don't try to manipulate yourself or them to love you. You see them for who they are and you remove them from your orbit. How do you get into your divine feminine energy? Just allow yourself to do what it is you want to do. If you want to take a bath, take a bath. If you want to cook a good meal, cook a good meal. If you want to put on cozy clothes, put on cozy clothes. If you want to sing, sing. If you want to read, read. Allow yourself to flow into what you want to do instead of thinking, I have to do this, I should do this. What do you want to be doing? Follow that joy, that thread of peace and joy. That's always going to be your divine feminine energy. Authentically expressing yourself is your divine feminine energy. I made a short TikTok the other day where I said, I don't care if I text you 3 times in a row. If I want to, I'm going to. Maybe I want to tell you that I think we had a past life where you burnt me at the stake and now I am coming back into your life as your karma. Maybe I just want to let you know that. Maybe I read something shocking or interesting and I want to tell you. I'm not going to wait around for you to answer. If it's on my mind, I'm going to say it. Because truthfully, the person who is yours is going to love your energy. And the only way for them to feel your energy is for you to broadcast it. But if you're so scared to be who you actually are and you're so scared to just authentically broadcast your energy, how are they ever supposed to see you, find you, know you? They won't be able to. So forget all of these laws and all of these videos about these women telling you how to attract the provider man. Just chill. I'm telling you, chill out. Could you liberate yourself for one damn minute? Can you relax and just liberate yourself? Let yourself just be. And then the funny thing is you'll attract a partner like this. You'll attract your dream job like this. They're trying to put you into these boxes and these rules, but that is divine masculine. Masculine energy is rules and laws. Now, there are ways you could trip yourself up, absolutely. If you pedestal them, if you become obsessed about them, okay, then just call your power back by saying, I lovingly and peacefully call all of my power back to me now. But besides pedestaling them, and sending them too much energy, there's really nothing you can do wrong if you're just being your authentic self. Treat people with respect, honor the divinity within yourself and them, take no shit, do no harm, you're going to be fine. If you want to be in your divine feminine, just follow your joy. Do what makes you feel in alignment, and you know you're in alignment because you're going to feel energized instead of depleted on a daily basis. How do I step into my divine feminine energy? I just allow myself to say what it is I want to say. I allow myself to do what I want to do. Yes, there is responsibility that I have where I do have to step into my masculine energy, but most of the time, I'm allowing myself to just be me. I allow myself to create. A really amazing way to get into your divine feminine energy is to create something, to create art or dance or music. If you want a whole entire workbook on your divine feminine energy, I have a Healing Your Divine Feminine workbook. It's 66 pages. It's very much in depth, 10 steps on how to step into your divine feminine energy for more on that. Talk about not settling. You know, one of the best things a guy I was dating one time told me was to keep raising my standard. Every time he would come to my house, he would bring me flowers. He would bring me to nice dinners. He was such a good, nice dude. Not my man, but he was a nice guy. And he would always tell me, raise your standard and I'm going to surpass it. Raise it again and I'm going to surpass it. And he really did. He really would put so much effort. Just not my dude. But That being said, I think that was a really good lesson for me and all of us to keep that standard high. Think about the Ivy League colleges. They have a low acceptance rate and a high standard. That's how you want to be in your own reality. You want to have a low acceptance rate. Don't tolerate a lot of BS from yourself or others. Don't tolerate the inconsistency. Don't tolerate the player energy. Don't tolerate the I don't know what I want. Do not tolerate that. Low acceptance rate and a high standard. First of all, that is just you respecting yourself and respecting the divinity within you. But the funny thing, the interesting thing that happens is you attract better feeling experiences and people. To me, it's disrespectful to myself to not have a high standard. So I can attract low quality people and experiences and hate my life? No thanks. I'd rather just keep my standard high. Now, this did mean I had some seasons where I was alone a lot more, some isolation seasons. I had 4 weeks straight. I did not go out. I did not see people. I literally stayed in my house and just was thinking and pondering and feeling and shedding some older energies, recalibrating. Sometimes that means you're going to feel a little bit more lonely. But the thing is, you could be in a relationship, you could be surrounded by people and feel completely lonely, yet be alone and feel fulfilled. Your feeling of loneliness has nothing to do with you being surrounded by people, because you could be in a crowded room and feel completely alone. It's about your connection to yourself and the divine. And when I have a high standard, I get better results. I have more respect for me and I get closer to God. I don't want to talk too much about my relationship unless there's a point or a lesson, honestly. But I will say the current relationship I'm in, I honestly never thought like this can't be possible. I did think it was possible because I know God can move mountains and anything is possible with God at the center of your life. It's just a really beautiful connection. This is just me reflecting. If I were to settle for that 7-year relationship I was in, I would not be as happy as I am right now. That's the truth. And it would have been really easy to settle. I was very comfortable. It was a good dude, but it just wasn't right. If I would have settled, I would not be as expansive and loving and happy and joyous as I am right now. And I'm so happy I didn't settle. I'm so happy I didn't choose what was comfortable. And this is another thing about not settling. After that 7-year relationship, there were other people who I could have settled with again, who were better for me maybe than that 7-year relationship. And I still said no because something felt not right. If you have a little voice in your head that's telling you something isn't right or there's more, go find more. That voice was in my head constantly. This isn't right. There's someone more aligned. And I tried to ignore it. And all that did was give me massive anxiety every single day of my life. And I thought I had really bad anxious attachment. Turns out it was just that I was ignoring my intuition and it was causing me to have anxiety and allergic reactions every single day of my life. My body was rejecting my reality because it knew it was not in alignment with where I needed to go and what I wanted. So I cannot recommend enough not to settle. And being on the other end of not settling, I can say I made the right decision. In the moment, it's hard to tell if you're making the right decision because it's really painful. When I ended that relationship, I had so many podcast episodes where I was just crying week after week after week because there was so much that needed to be released. Then I didn't really know if I made the right choice because it felt so bad. It felt so wrong. I was so sad. Only on the other side of those emotions can I see, thank God I did what I did. Thank God I moved out of that. And I still love that person. That's still a great human who taught me so much. People come in for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. And we had many soul lessons together, but ultimately, I can't live with a voice in my head saying there's something else for you. So if that's what you're feeling, get out of that relationship. And I know it's scary. And I know you're comfortable. And I know you can't tell what's on the other end of this bridge. But guess what? It's going to be worth it. Do you really want to live the rest of your life in fear, having allergic reactions, creating autoimmune, feeling like you're making a decision out of fear because it's comfortable? I can't live that way. I need to live in alignment with my truth, even when it's scary, even when I don't know how it's going to turn out. I have to trust God. It's not about the mere mortals who are in front of me. It's about, can I put God in the center of my life, and can I trust him? And thank God that I did. Thank God I put my trust in divinity and not just my limited human mind, or else I would probably be engaged right now and or married and having a lot of anxiety every single day. And for what point? So I can get divorced later on? No, thanks. I'm good on that. No person is perfect. If you're looking for perfection, don't look for a human. But I will say your person will be pretty damn near perfection. For you, your definition of perfection. There's always going to be, fights or disagreements or something like that. That's fine. That's signs of a healthy relationship. But if you have that feeling that I'm not being treated right, I think there's more out there for me, you're having that for a reason. That whisper is your angels guiding you in the right direction. Okay, next question. Girlfriend benefits without the title. What do you think? Dating this great guy, but he hasn't asked. It's hard to answer because I don't know how long you've been dating. I think if someone does not try to claim you as theirs in a relationship with them, put a label on it relatively soon, something's fundamentally wrong. Maybe it's their avoidance. Maybe it's their attachment issues. I don't know. Something is wrong. My brother, when he met his girlfriend, he was the one who said, okay, we went on a couple of dates. Let's be exclusive. And she was one who's like, I don't know, this is kind of soon. And eventually she had a couple of days to think about it. And then they were exclusive, and they've been dating for like 2 years now. A guy knows super early whether he wants to commit to you or not. And his actions will tell you what his intentions are. On my third date with my now current boyfriend, he said girlfriend. And I was like, what, who, what, where, when, why? Who's your girlfriend? He's like, are you, obviously. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess. I was like, yeah, I guess you're right. We are exclusively dating. I just didn't even think about it because I was so in the moment, so in the flow. We both deleted the dating apps even before our first date. So we were already exclusive and we weren't talking to anyone else. We just never officially said girlfriend, boyfriend, but we were acting as that anyway before our first date, which is, I guess that sounds crazy to some, but when you know, you know. But I think if they're not asking you, there's something wrong. Also, take responsibility. Don't sleep with them. Don't be the girlfriend without the girlfriend title. Would you go to your job every single day without the title and without getting paid? No. So why are you giving that allowance to the person you're dating? Whatever you allow will be amplified in the dynamic. The feminine energy really holds the key. If you allow them to sleep with you, they're going to sleep with you. If you allow them to mistreat you, they're going to mistreat you. The divine feminine is a leader when it comes to relationship. I have come to the conclusion that women have no idea about the power they possess. And you're giving your power away when you're allowing people to do what they want and you're not stating what you need. There was a guy that I was seeing and I asked him straight up, like, do you want to get married again? What are your intentions? He was a sailless sailboat. He had no idea what he wanted. He was all over the place. I knew to remove myself from that situation because that is not what I want. I'm a very intentional person. I'm intentional with who I spend my time with, how I use my time, and who I date. If you're not going to be intentional, I don't want that. Now, him not being ready for a relationship or not seeing my value does not mean that there's something wrong with him nor me. It just means we're not an energetic match. That's a blessing. Just remove them and keep moving forward. It doesn't mean that I'm not worthy, that I'm not good enough, that I'm not whatever. The correct response is to remove them when you realize that they can't give you what you want. The wrong response is, let me sleep with them so I can try to convince them or subconsciously manipulate them into seeing my value and convincing them to stay and commit to me. That is you playing you. Because what ends up happening is they're still them. They still don't want commitment, and you're going to cry because then your body is going to start to have an emotional and chemical attachment to them, and you're going to make it harder for yourself to remove them from your orbit. Stop sleeping with people who don't want to commit to you, and your life will be easier. And why would I tell you this information? Do I have some evil vendetta against women? No, I'm trying to tell you this because I've seen enough. I've experienced enough in my own life that I can clearly see that sleeping with people who are not giving you commitment, who are not putting you on a pedestal, is only going to hurt you. They're still going to leave and get what they want, and you're going to be upset. Celibacy is a form of energy mastery. You're not some weird freak prude. You are learning how to energetically use your own vessel and the energy, the divinity that flows through you to your advantage instead of giving it to people who don't value you. Do you want someone using you as a whole for their own satisfaction? It's not even about you. Wow, someone thinks you're attractive. Congratulations. It's really not that big of a deal. My grandma thinks I'm beautiful. Your grandma probably thinks you're beautiful. That doesn't mean you should just sleep with someone. No. Even being in my current relationship, I'm not just going to sleep with this person. No, because I understand my own vessel. I need to see over time that not only will you give me verbal commitment, not only am I your girlfriend, not only are we exclusive, but I need to see that I can now trust your actions, your words, your character. Stop being so willy-nilly with who you give your body and your energy to. It's not healthy for you. You have to be so conscientious of who you give your energy to. You can be authentic. You can say what's on your mind. You can be in your divine feminine energy without giving someone all of your creative life force. I am able to send 3 text messages in a row or whatever it is. I'm able to go on a rant with my boyfriend. I'm able to be my authentic self, and I'm still never depleted. Why is that? Because I'm being authentic. I'm not putting him on a pedestal and saying, oh, I have to give him all my energy so he chooses me. It comes down to intention. Why are you doing what you're doing? If you're texting someone 50 times a day because you're trying to get them to like you and you think you have to be interesting and you're trying to perform instead of just be, then you're sending out too much energy. My intention, if I text someone a bunch of things, is not to get them to like me. It's, this is what's going on in my life. This is what I'm thinking. Here it is. This is me being authentic. If I'm out and about, I'm not engaging with behaviors to get someone to notice me or like me. I'm being authentically me. When I'm with my partner, I'm not trying to get him to like me. I'm being authentically me because I know that what is mine will love me when I'm just broadcasting my authentic frequency. So you have to check in with yourself. If your intention is focused on getting them to commit to you, them to like you, then you're pedestaling them, sending out too much energy. If you're just being you to be you, then you're pedestaling yourself and you'll attract the right person towards you. If you are engaging in girlfriend behavior without getting the title, what are you doing? Why are you doing the job without getting paid? But really, more importantly, is why are you not saying anything? Speak up for yourself. You have a voice box, you have a mouth, you have a brain. You can just straight up say, we've been talking, we've been dating. Where are we going with this? I don't casually date someone for months at a time. We know each other enough. We're either going to commit or we're going our separate ways. I know you're going to feel uncomfortable. I know it might be scary because it's either going to end in further commitment or you guys are not going to talk to each other anymore. I understand that. But why would you want to waste your time with the wrong person? Why would you do that? If this is not someone who wants to commit to you, wouldn't you rather know that right now? Wouldn't you rather know that so you can cut your losses and get out of there? My cousin literally told her current fiance, if you don't get me a ring by this date, I'm out of here. Just letting you know. And this is not an ultimatum. This is not even a threat. It's just stating what you are going to do and what you're not willing to allow. If you don't do this, just so you know, that's not something I'm going to tolerate. She's now engaged. I think we have the wrong idea that we can't speak up for ourselves. We can't say what we want. Oh my God, no. If he wanted to, he would. How about state what you want and the right person will be like, hell yeah, let's do this. They're going to align with your values and your morals and your desires too. That's the thing. The right person is going to be excited by what it is you want. And it's so funny because anytime I bring up getting engaged or we talk about marriage, I always say, like, just know this is your time frame and then I'm outie. And he always laughs. And I'm like, why are you laughing at that? And he gets excited that I am so down for this, that I have the awareness to say, and this is the time we have to get it together. That excites him. You wanting to have commitment, you stating that, you bringing it up, although I didn't even have to ever bring it up because he's an actual man. You having that excitement and bringing it up, that's going to excite the right person. And it kind of goes back to not settling. If it doesn't excite them and they feel like they have to be forced to be in a relationship with you, get out. I will always state what I want, but I would never force someone to be in my reality. Absolutely not. It's frequency over force. I'm going to be authentically me. Whoever likes it, you can stay around. Whoever doesn't, get out. Next question. Any tips on cutting an ex off energetically? Some days, weeks, it's fine. Others, it's intense. I definitely recommend taking my 21-day breakup glow up challenge. There are audio lessons, video lessons, meditations to call your power back. You're also going to remove any soul ties. There's even a closure card where you connect with their higher self and really remove anything that's no longer serving you. I'd also say that moving on from someone, it's not necessarily a quick fix. Everyone wants that one tip that's just going to change it all. My number one tip would be to take the 21-day breakup glow up challenge. My second tip would be to give yourself time to grieve and to feel, because the only way out is through. You have to feel the emotions to release them. Don't put a timer on yourself. Give yourself the space to feel. I always recommend trying to, instead of get under someone new, because a lot of people will tell you in order to get over someone, get into someone new. Don't do that. Get into yourself instead, because people are going to come in and out of your life. The one person you're going to have forever is you. Get to know who you are. Read a book, show up as her, learn about energy, take the Shadow Alchemy course, learn how to transmute your pain into power. You can take the Art of Alchemy. Take courses, learn a new skill, meditate, really get into yourself, discover who you are. That way you can broadcast your authentic frequency so loudly that everything for you, people, friends, opportunities will just know how to find you. I also think that when you end a relationship, your mind automatically thinks that you're never going to find anyone else. And I definitely had that come up when I ended my relationship. I thought, how could I ever feel as comfortable with someone? How could I ever feel that closeness again? I now realize that I had to go through a lot of different energies, learn a lot of lessons. And now again, I found that closeness that feels like, once again, oh, I've known this soul before. When you meet a soul you've known before, you're going to automatically feel familiar with them. You're going to automatically feel like peace and a closeness that you don't get with just anyone. I just want to remind you that even though you feel like your life is ending and you're never going to find anyone again, that's just a lie. It's just limited programming that wants to speak loud right now, but don't believe it. Your mind is going to go to the loudest thing in your reality, which happens to be pain right now if you're going through a breakup. So try to redirect your mind to learning something new. And as you engage with a new skill, you're going to create new neurological pathways, and the older neurological pathways that are looking for that kiss, that hug, that text are going to start to really dissipate, because we can only hold so many neurological pathways in our brain at once. So that's why I really recommend taking this challenge, taking one of my courses, reading the book, so you can learn something new, and it will help you refocus. You have to direct your mind so it doesn't just automatically focus on the pain, and instead you're giving yourself something to focus on. You're building yourself up. You're going to increase self-esteem, increase confidence, and help redirect yourself so you're not just thinking about them all day and all night. How can I manifest faster? Get the magnetizing mugs. Set your intention every single day. Because a lot of us will create that vision board or we'll think about what we want. We'll journal about it once and then we kind of forget about it. Instead, set your intention every single morning and have a reminder with the magnetizing mug. Every morning, I would just have my coffee and I was missing out on an opportunity to manifest, to intentionally think about what I wanted to call into my reality and start to attract it towards me. Do not lose out on your mornings when you're fresh off your sleep and you're clear-headed. That's the perfect time to meditate, to manifest, to intend what you want to call into your reality. Next question. How can I recognize if a man is in his divine masculine and not in the wounded masculine? I do give you a whole entire chart of the divine feminine, divine masculine, and the wounded energies in my book, Show Up As Her, if you want more information. I mentioned this in a previous podcast, but I definitely think there's something about the divine feminine energy that craves the man who comes off as really powerful, because I think we're perceiving it as safety. But a lot of those men who come off as the most powerful guy in the room are actually just narcissistic, unfortunately. So there's that. You will know a man is in his masculine energy when he has no ego. When someone is steeped in their divine masculine energy, they want to serve the divine feminine. They want to worship the divine feminine. They love the divine feminine. He just wants to be a protector, a provider, and he wants to be of service to the divine feminine. It's actually the most beautiful energy that you can be on the other side of receiving. I have goosebumps just thinking about it. The true divine masculine is so beautiful. That's why we really have to stop demonizing it. The divine masculine is very much goal-oriented and focused. So when they say they're going to pick you up at 4 p.m., they're going to pick you up at 4 p.m. When they say they're taking you out, they're going to take you out. What they say, they're going to do. They're goal-oriented, which also means that if they're in their divine masculine energy, they're going to want to claim you. And I don't know why that's the word I keep using, because I think we have negative connotations around that. I was choosing him, so I was allowing him to choose me back. The world is my menu. I'll choose what I want. That's the divine feminine. The divine masculine is, and I'll serve you this dish. Period. I think a lot of us have the wrong idea about what divine feminine, divine masculine is, because they say the divine masculine is a leader. Yes, in the physical realm, but not in the energetic one, not in the divine one, not in the relationship, not in love, not in the unseen world. Yeah, the divine masculine is the leader, the provider in the physical world, not in the energetic one, which is far more great, grand, and expanded. A healthy divine masculine honors the divine feminine, wants to give to you, has no qualms about giving to you, wants to protect you, wants to provide for you, wants to set up a sacred space for you, wants to listen to you, wants to hear you, and not just a protector and a provider physically, but emotionally, wants to hear about your day, wants to know what's going on in your life, respects what you're doing, doesn't make fun of you, doesn't belittle you, doesn't think that what you're doing is not important. No. A healthy divine masculine has no ego, wants to give to you. And the beautiful thing is, when this happens, the feminine energy just blossoms, and then you spill over into the masculine energy, and it's just this, it's like a merry-go-round. It just goes and goes and goes, where you're just feeding one another energy, and it's beautiful. How to cultivate self-love with your appearance. I'm not loving the way I look. If there is something in your appearance that is just something you cannot change, that is something you most likely signed up to learn from. And I would literally speak to it. Like, if there is something on your body that you don't like, ask it why it's here. Get into a meditative state and speak to it. It will answer you. It literally has consciousness. You just have to get in contact with your own vessel. So put on a frequency, sit quietly, and ask it why it's here. When you hold on to extra weight, for example, oftentimes that weight is there because you feel unsafe in your environment, and the fat is acting as a shield between you and your physical environment. Your body will communicate to you, because when do we listen? It's when we get a physical ailment. So if you're breaking out, if you're having a skin rash every time you hang out with a specific guy, it's your body trying to tell you this person is not in alignment with you. And I'm going to show you physically. Second step is, can you reframe it to, empower you. If you have something that is part of your physical vessel that you don't like, but your grandmother had it and she was a pillar of great strength, and it's something your whole entire bloodline has, maybe it's a mole or the way your ears are or your hair color, whatever it is, if you can reframe it and say, that's actually kind of cool that I am existing within the same energy and have this thing that my strong ancestors had and they have given me so much, reframe it. If there's something you don't like, you don't want to reframe it, and you're just thinking, I want to change this, change it. There's no rule that you can't change what you want. When I was 30 plus pounds, probably even more than 30 now, I didn't feel good in that weight. I didn't feel good in it. So I wasn't going to try to convince myself to love that version of me. Why? Because that version of myself sucked. Why did she suck? She was mean to me. She would say terrible, terrible, terrible things to herself. She would binge eat. She didn't know how to take care of herself. And she would repeatedly pick negative, maladapting coping mechanisms that did not serve her and kept her in her past. I didn't want to be that version of me anymore because I didn't know how to regulate myself. I didn't feel good in my own skin. So I made a decision to change. If you want to lose weight, gain weight, change something, your hair color, you want to get the lashes, you want to get filler, I don't care. You have to do what makes you feel good about yourself. Now, a lot of people will look at you, they'll look at me and they'll say, oh, you don't have confidence if you do this or if you do that. It's actually the exact opposite. First of all, there were so many lifetimes where I wasn't allowed to dye this hair, baby. There were so many lifetimes where lash extensions were not a thing, where filler wasn't a thing, where all these things that you could do with your vessel and your body were not a thing. And you did not have the right or the power to do over your own body. And now that I can in this lifetime, I'm going to do what it is I want. And you have to, again, check in with your intention, but it's not out of insecurity if you're thinking to yourself, I want to do this because it makes me feel more like me. I go through different phases. Sometimes I like an ombre where it's more brown, and then sometimes I like more blonde. I lean into whatever feels good to me in that season. That doesn't make me insecure. It doesn't make me a freak. It makes me me, and I get to do whatever I want because that's the thing about being a human. I'm not hurting anyone. I get to do what I want. And that's just how I think about it. If you want to change something, first of all, speak to it. Understand why it's there. Because you might have to understand how to create safety for yourself, and then the weight's going to fall off. If you don't like your nose, if you don't like your ears, if you don't like your hair, if you don't like your body, speak to it first. Second step is, can I reframe this? Third step is, do I want to reframe this or do I just want to change it? For me, changing my physical vessel is more about me stepping into my power than it is about insecurity. I always thought I was amazing. 30 pounds plus, 30 pounds down, I still thought I was beautiful. Filler, no filler, I still think I'm beautiful. I've always thought I was beautiful. And on top of that, I made a conscious decision that I want to step into my power and liberate myself. And if I want to do something, I'm going to do what I want. And there's going to be a lot of people who think that's not spiritual. That's not, in alignment with self-love. I'm sorry that you're stuck in the 3D and don't get it. That's simply not my problem. Everything I do is spiritual because I'm a spiritual being in a physical body. Do you understand anything about the matrix? If not, still not my problem. That's a you problem. I literally don't care what anyone has to say. I have to live in my own body. So I'm going to do what makes me happy, what makes me feel like in alignment with myself. I feel that doing what I want to do allows me to align with more and more and more power. It's not out of insecurity, it's out of free will, baby. I get to do what I want. That's why I incarnated at this time. And I think a huge part of me being in the spiritual space is for people to see me and realize that they're allowed to liberate themselves and do what it is they want. That's also why I post memes every Tuesday. You're allowed to be spiritual and have a sense of humor. You're allowed to be spiritual and refer to yourself as a positive bitch. You're allowed to be spiritual and be extroverted. You're allowed to be spiritual and have a personality. You're allowed to be spiritual and have fun. You're allowed to be spiritual and do what it is you want. I'm going to break down barriers to help you liberate yourself so you can live authentically. I simply do not care, and I'm going to teach you how to not care too. Because if I were to say, well, I can't go blonde because people are going to think I don't love myself, what a load of BS. That's so ridiculous. That's so ridiculous. If I want to get filler, guess who's going to get filler? Me. Guess who's going to love it? Me. Guess who's not going to care? Me. Because I get to do what I want. Someone literally commented on my video, I would never believe anything you say based on how you look. I'm like, good. Don't take the knowledge. We'll give it to somebody else. Stay in 3D consciousness. Have fun. It's no skin off my back. You won't learn how to manifest correctly, but that's okay. With that being said, remember that being human means you have free will. Don't do harm to others, but take no shit and do what brings you joy. Regardless of what that is what divine feminine energy is. To be fierce, to be a force, to do what makes you happy, and to not care what the mere mortals think. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Mwah.